Good morning. We're gonna have a little bit of a different video today. We decided to do a bit of a Q&A. So I put a question out on a community post on our YouTube channel and we got a few really good questions. So throughout the day today, we're gonna take some time to answer some and kind of bring you along with our day.
Minus 14 this morning. It's very cold. And I think it was minus 20 with the wind chill. And then Ryan's nodding, our local meteorologist said that it's supposed to be showers this evening, so
rain showers.
Quite the range there.
Yeah, for sure. So every time I use my phone, I gotta take my mitten off, and my hand is really cold. So I'll answer the question quickly. Question number 1: why did you choose to start a homestead?
It's something that I've always wanted to do. Something that really got me going was way back in the day when Joel Salton first had out a video. Some guy went and interviewed Joel Salton, and they were talking about all the different systems they had. And it all just made a lot of sense to me, so it's just been something that I wanted to have going on, is having animals and making my own meat. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't think I would have came upon this on my own if I wasn't with Dominic. I, kind of got into this idea of like, oh, that sounds really good and that sounds really good. And I really love cooking and food and eating, and this is a lot of homesteading has to do with food that you're eating, so it's kind of got me on board as well.
Two eggs.
Ooh.
We had 6 yesterday. I filled this up last night. Pretty good skim of ice over the top.
How do you find the cost of country life versus the cost of city life?
Okay, that's a big question.
Yeah.
So I guess it would depend a lot on the city you're in, but if we're going to go with our local city, which is Sydney, country life I would say is far cheaper in that our mortgage is about a half or third what you pay for rent in Sydney right now for like a 2-bedroom apartment, so in that way it's really good. Burn a bit more gas, but I guarantee that any amount of gas we burn extra is made up for by being far enough away from, say, a pizza place or a place to order takeout that we never get that anymore, so I would say that easily balances out that extra cost. I would imagine taxes are less out here. I don't really know, but yeah, I think it's cheaper. Other than now, I have a chainsaw now. All that other stuff, the spacing saw and the chipper and all that stuff that I wouldn't buy if I was in the city, but that entertains me. So
yeah,
it's enjoyable.
And like recently, because of storms and infrastructure thing and COVID, we've seen the prices of like meat and in the grocery stores. Either meat is like very, very pricey, or sometimes it's just not available for like, not like days and days at a time. But I know there was a storm last week and a lot of people had trouble getting just groceries. But yeah, so we don't have to worry about that. Like it's, like when you go to the grocery store and you mean to get one thing and you end up getting a whole bunch of things, because we make less trips. I think that cuts into the cost, like it makes a big difference in the cost. Like we have our meat already, and then we buy like pasta and rice and the kind of starch things in bulk. So I think that does make a big difference. So it really depends. I think you're just kind of live within your means wherever you are, and it'll depend on what city you live in. I mean, we lived in other cities where we definitely spent less, but that really depends on your situation and the city that you're in. So, yeah. But I don't think like it would be cheaper to just go out and start living in the country like this, because there's all of those like startup costs of like buying the chainsaw and building the greenhouse and all of those other things. So I think they're just kind of two very different circumstances.
Yep.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you had all the animals, how long did it take maintaining and caring daily? So I'm going to start off by saying what we had at the time. So at the peak, we had 30 meat chickens, 4 goats, 3 pigs, and about 10 laying hens. And Dominic did most of the chores, so we can answer the rest of that question.
For daily maintenance, it was under an hour. It was just, and you kind of streamline things as you go by, as you do it enough. You know, try to minimize the amount of trips back and forth. So it was just to get up, grab the pig food that I'd soaked the day before, grab an armful of hay, drop that off to the goats on my way out to feed the pigs. And I had a hose run out there so I could just water the pigs and the goats while I was out there, and then come back. Then it was moving the chickens in the tractor and refilling their water and food. That'd take about 10 minutes max. And the layers were super low maintenance. I mean, I'd fill up their feeder for 3 or 4 days and fill up waters for a couple of days for them, and then whenever they seemed like they were getting low, I'd refill them. But in the summertime when they're free ranging, they get a lot of water and food of their own, so they're not much maintenance in the summer. So tops an hour a day just for that stuff. But if you were if I was in a rush, if I was late getting ready for work or whatever, I could get it done in 10 minutes for sure.
Yeah, well, it didn't take, once everything was ready and done, it didn't take that much time.
How do you keep from being overwhelmed with projects? I don't. No, the only challenge I have there is that sometimes there's things I don't want to do for whatever reason. But once you it's like going for a run or going for a workout. You don't want to do it until you start doing it. And once you start, you're fine. So if you can keep that in mind, that helps. And you can only do what you can do. So if you're doing the best you can and working as much as you can, then that's all you can do.
It's very nice out. It's very pretty. It's very cold though. Very chilly. What's the weather going to be on Friday, Dominic?
50 mils of rain.
50 mils of rain. I thought that the snow was just going to be here for the winter, but I guess...
2 inches for the Americans.
Oh yeah, 2 inches of rain is coming for us in 2 days. So we can say goodbye to all... Well, some of this.
It was rain tonight, actually. And it's still freezing cold.
Yeah.
What would you say it is now? Minus 10?
It's warmer than this morning, but yeah, minus 10 for sure. I've been thinking about saying from Little Country Homestead, because he's an excellent channel, I should check it out. But he's down in Indiana?
I think
so. And he's mentioned a couple times in the comments about oh, we live in such a cool place. It's so far, and so I guess we're kind of out in the woods. No one's around. How do you say that? Secluded? Remote. Yeah. And I was thinking, just wait until you see us in the wintertime. And then you just wait until March when you're out planting seeds and we're in here still scraping snow and slush. And then again in April. And in May. So that's it. All right, next question is, do you plan to stay on your current property forever?
Who knows? With us, it's hard to tell. We've moved around a lot over the years, so we're not too attached to one place, but this is the first place we've sunk this much time into, so who knows? Maybe I'll be too attached to it to ever leave.
Yeah.
But the idea of having pasture already done, not making it yourself, that's very alluring.
Or one of those big barns everybody got. But yeah, 20 months has been the longest we've lived in one dwelling for the past 15 years. So anything outside of our childhood homes. So to ask if we're going to be here forever, forever, I mean, if we were here 15 years, that would literally be forever. So it's hard to say. Forever is a really long time. And but it's really hard to build something and walk away. But I don't know. I think we're just open to whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, take the opportunities as they come.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It was so cold this morning that remember Dominic came out earlier and he knocked the ice out of the ice bucket. Well, it is frozen over again and pretty solidly. One of the chickens is able to peck through it, I think, or that's kind of just where they were drinking from it. But I gotta take the ice out again. It's so cold. And it's so funny because it's gonna be raining this evening. That's how much of a difference is gonna be in the temperature.
This is good, right? Wouldn't you rather be a chicken in here?
Yes. Why isn't it there?
I mean, you can scratch around and move around and jump up on the top.
My last question is, what are some of the homesteading resources that we go to for like knowledge, inspiration, learning, that kind of stuff?
Well, that's a good question. You go first.
Okay. Dominic has a really big list. I'm sure he's compiling it in his mind. But I guess for me, a lot of it comes from YouTube. I think the university of YouTube is pretty much anything that I've used. Anytime I was trying to learn about the chickens or gardening or any, like, if there was a problem with anything, just go to Google and YouTube. It's pretty much where, and Dominic has had some good books that he's taken out from the library that I've breezed through. Haven't read as thoroughly as Dominic, and he's also someone I will ask a lot of questions to. For you?
I would say Joel Salatin is the obvious answer. Just the way he does his projects that are cheap and they work well within a system.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to me and inspiring that they come up with all that stuff. It's really cool, and it makes me think of things that I can do at my place. That's a little bit different than what other people do, but it works for my place. So that's one. There's a good book about silvopasture. I think the author's name is Steve Gabriel. Jenny's gonna have to fix that later probably. But he wrote a good book that has lots of good ideas of things you can do with a wooded pasture, which is kind of cool. Virginia Tech has good resources on that stuff. There's a limitless amount of things on the internet. Another good resource for anyone in Nova Scotia is they have a woodlot management course that the government put out for free. It's like 13 modules, and you can download the PDFs and read through those. They have a lot of good information for someone like me who has no experience. Those were really good. Edible Acres guy for composting and chicken stuff. He's really awesome. And for like just day-to-day stuff, I would say like the channels that we normally watch just for inspiration of, these people are still doing it every day, we're going to do it too, would be like the Kramers and the Yeoman and
Kramer Life, Modern Yeoman. We watch like
Pastures, the Hollers.
Yeah, the Holler Homestead. We watch Justin Rhodes. There's some other ones we watch. I'm sure there's lots more.
Yeah.
Little Country Homestead. That's saying we mentioned him earlier.
Yep. I watched some wood guys, Back 40 Firewood. He's pretty good.
Yeah. GP Outdoors, Song with Sandy.
Outdoors.
We watched a lot of YouTube apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Song with Sandy, yeah, it's good. Yeah. He's got a good channel. And probably some more that I'm missing, but
lots.
The Wildstead?
Wilderstead?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Mallory over at Quebec Homestead has some awesome like gardening stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
just you just go.
I hate to start a list because I'm going to miss somebody. And
it's like we're at an awards show. No, but like there's tons, and there's lots of information out there, and I feel like now is a great time because like if you were doing this 20 years ago, you wouldn't have such so much information readily available to you on the internet, or like connecting with people. Like we've made friends through the YouTube channel with other people, just because like we're out there on the internet, and that's really neat. So like it's important to have a community here, like for people to help you, but it's really neat that we have one online as well, and it's been great.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're ever thinking of doing something like this, I think it's a great time to be at it. Okay. Is that it?
I'm satisfied with that.
Me as well. I'm gonna go upload. I'm gonna go edit this now and hopefully have this to you guys like as soon as possible today. So I will see you this afternoon.
See ya.
Bye, and then see you next Sunday. Bye.